Hi everybody, welcome to another week of Maker's Monday. I am Anastasia Redloff, aka Stampin Blondie, and thank you for joining me for another week of live step-by-step crafting. I'm joining you here from sunny Tucson, Arizona, and I hope you all had an amazing weekend. Now let me just make sure that I am live here on Facebook so that I can follow along with your comments. If you're joining me live today, make sure to comment, say hi, let me know where you're joining me from. If you're watching this via replay on my Facebook page here or via my YouTube page, make sure to comment and let me know that you were able to join me along this week as well. So like I said, I hope you all had an amazing weekend. I spent some time scrapping and just getting projects ready for upcoming classes and my fall retreat. I'm really looking forward to being able to connect with everybody here in Tucson and then virtually as well. Now, I'm sorry I have a little tickle in my throat. I actually have a doctor's appointment set up for that. Sorry about that. It seems like the more I talk, the more I have these throat issues. So bear with me this week. I'm sorry. Whew, let's just take a little breather there. Hopefully, oh, it's even making my eyes water. So hopefully this water helps. I'm not crying, I promise. Of course, as soon as I go live, like this thing acts up and you never know where it's gonna come out of nowhere. So bear with me with my voice. We will get through this. Take a little sip of water as I go, and hopefully it'll just calm down like one of those little coughing attacks. I promise I'm not crying. It's just, excuse me, I don't know if I'm getting like asthma or what's going on. I've been having some breathing issues lately, and hopefully just all of this voice stuff will calm down. I made a doctor's appointment. They can't get me in a course until November, but hopefully between now and then it'll just calm down and everything will be good. All right, so today I'll be creating two projects featuring the Cutest Halloween stamp set. Oh, see, my eyes are all watery. Oh gosh. All right. Thank you, Connie. I'm sorry. It just, as soon as I hit live, it like hit me. So I don't know if it's the dry weather. I know at the beginning of September, I got pretty sick and it affected my voice. It was not COVID. I was tested for COVID multiple times, so it wasn't that. It just seems like I can't get rid of this like itchy throat and cough. So thank you, everybody. I'm sorry for all of that just now, but it seems to be getting a little bit better here. All right. Today, like I said, two projects featuring the Cutest Halloween stamp set and punch. Now, I am going to be featuring, this is the first of my two-part crafting series for Halloween. I will be featuring today using two cards, and then next week I'll be featuring treat packaging for all those little goblins and goodies that you want to pass out to all your friends, neighbors, and coworkers. So, sorry about that, everybody. All right, the Cutest Halloween stamp set is actually found in our July through December mini catalog. But before I jump into my projects, I like to go over some updates and announcements. Thank you, Carol. It's hopefully your daughter was able to figure out what all that was. I don't know what it is. It just, it's like every time I try to take a deep breath, it makes me want to cough, and I promise everybody it's not COVID though. I have no other symptoms but just that itchy throat and cough, so definitely not COVID. I've been tested multiple times, all negative, so no worries there. All right, let's go ahead and flip our camera here today. First up I have is my Fall Creative Retreat. So if you are here located in Tucson, this is my in-person all-day retreat. This will be happening on Saturday, November 13th. This is from 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. and it'll be held at the Savano Community Center on Houghton. Now, You may be asking, how come this is only in person? My ultimate goal later on down the road is to be able to offer these retreats both in person and online. Now, I've already held 2 virtual retreats. I held one in March and one in August, and my goal to be able to offer those is that I need to hold an in-person as well. So this is my fall creative retreat just in person. So this will help be able to offer these events to you both online and in person later. So fall creative retreat here in Tucson, if you're wanting to attend, the deadline to register is coming up next Friday, next week, October 29th. This is a 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. all-day crafting event. You'll create 8 make and take projects. You have the option to add on lunch and dinner to your registration. We'll be featuring the Gorgeous Leaves stamp set and bundle. You can add that on as well if you don't have that. And then I have 2 add-on classes as well. Now these are Christmas classes. So I do have one of the stamp sets right here. This is one of the add-ons, the Joyful Life stamp set. I love this set. This little pig reminds me of Harry Potter. I don't know why. I think it's the scarf and the glasses, but this is a little Harry Potter guy. This Joyful Life stamp set, it is a $25 add-on class. It includes the stamp set and project supplies to create 4 projects. So you'll get the stamp set and the supplies, and this is just an add-on. I will not be teaching any other classes using this stamp set, and this is a cling stamp traditional red rubber, and this set is going to be really fun. Coloring this polar bear, this little pig, and the hedgehog is going to bring it all to life when we color it with Stampin' blends, and it's really going to look fun and exciting. So Joyful Life is an add-on to the Fall Creative Retreat. If you're on the fence about attending, you're going to want to register soon. I'm about halfway to my registration amount that I can have. So deadline to register is October 29th. All the details will be in a link in the description of this video once I'm completed today. And you can check out all the details. Again, Tucson only event for my goal to be able to create in person and online during my next creative retreat. So looking forward to this. Should be a really fun event. I love retreats. They're really fun, but we need to do one in person now. All right, next up, just announced this afternoon. I haven't even sent it out to my newsletter subscribers. This was just announced by Stampin' Up! Today. This is coming up on Wednesday, October 20th only, a 24-hour stamp sale. All cling mount stamps in our annual catalog will be 15% off. Now you may be saying, how come cling mount stamps and not photopolymer stamps? Now Stampin' Up! Creates all of their stamp sets in-house, but the material that they source to create the photopolymer stamp sets, they're having issues just like everywhere else in the world is right now with supplies. So cling mount stamps only. So if you're not too familiar with what a cling mount stamp is, that's what I just showed you, the traditional red rubber. So I pulled some of my favorite sets from the annual catalog that are included in this sale. First is the Whiskey Business. This is a really great stamp set for creating masculine projects. I've created really fun projects using Stampin' blends to really bring these images to life, and it has some great like kind of punny sentiments to go along with it. So Whiskey Business. Forever Fern, this is also in our annual catalog, 15% off on Wednesday only. This actually is a really fun stamp set because you can stamp these ferns and bring them to life. You can use various colors of green to really pop them out, and then this little texture stamp is really fun to create with as well. So Forever Fern. Daisy Lane is another stamp set. Now this is great because it has 2 coordinating punches to go along with this stamp set. We have our medium daisy punch and then our large daisy punch. So you can get this stamp set with the 2 coordinating punches, and the stamp set is 15% off. And then of course, Stampin' Blondie, my logo is a poppy, so the painted poppy stamp set is my #1 favorite set from the annual catalog. 15% off Wednesday only. If you are not on my email subscriber list, there'll be a link in the description of this video after I'm done on how to register for that. There will be a special host code that you'll use on Wednesday, and I'll send you additional little goodies in the mail. But 15% off all of our cling mount stamp sets in the annual catalog. Now there's only like one exception. Let me find it here, 1 or 2. So in the back of our catalog on page 170 and 171, these are host only stamp sets. So these do not count as 15% off because you can't buy these. You have to earn them with Stampin' Rewards. But everything from page 169 and down is a free game for cling mount. Now, how do you know if a stamp set is cling mount or photopolymer? So on our catalog, excuse me, right here underneath the description of the stamp, it'll say like 12 cling stamps. So this artistically inked stamp set is part of the 15% off because it's 12 cling stamps. If it was not, it would say 12 photopolymer stamps. So that's how you know which one is which. So if you're looking through your catalog and you've got a wish list on there of your stamp sets that you're looking at, one day only, 15% off this coming Wednesday. All right, let's get into our 2 projects today. But first, we always do something called Prize Patrol. So if you remember last week, I created 2 projects with the Seasons of Fun stamp set. This is actually a cling mount host stamp from our July through December mini catalog. Now, unfortunately, none of the mini catalog cling stamps are included in our price sale on Wednesday, so only annual catalog items. But the Seasons of Fun winner is Carol Schaefer. So congratulations, Carol. I see that you're on here today, so congratulations. I think I already have your address, but if not, I'll reach out to you and I will get you the details on how to send me your address, and I'll get this in the mail to you. Really looking forward to that. Now, today's Prize Patrol is something that I'll be using on our projects. We will be featuring the black matte dots. Now you'll receive a full package of these, of course, in your Prize Patrol. So the black matte dots and a black Stampin' Write marker. Now normally our Stampin' Write markers are only available to be purchased in color families, so brights, subtles, regals, neutrals. Excuse me, but this Stampin' Write marker in black you can purchase individually. So it's great because you can use it as a pen with its pen tip, or you can color in with the brush tip, and I'm going to show you a really fun technique with the black Stampin' Write marker today, and we are going to make something fun with those for our Prize Patrol today. Well, congratulations, Carol. I'm so excited that you are excited to get that stamp set. It's really cute, and it's perfect for Christmas, Halloween, and fall crafting right now. So you can create a variety of different projects with just that one stamp set. All right, our projects today are these 2. Now, this is a really fun card. This actually, I don't even know what the fold technique would be called, but it stands up, and it is got this little like double Z kind of pattern to it. The best part is on the back, you have a little area that you can write your sentiment in, and it fits perfectly into a regular size envelope. So you don't need any different sized envelope for this. It's a really fun fold, and I'm looking forward to creating this. Now our second project, let me grab my July through December mini catalog here. Now, the one thing that we all run into as crafters is what I like to call stamper's block. You know, you sit down, you have a stamp set, and then nothing comes to mind as you want to create. But our catalogs are the perfect place to get inspiration for projects, and that's exactly what I did here today. So on page 70 of our July through December mini catalog is this really cute, simple project using the Cutest Halloween bundle. So I recreated the project, and I did not have these little stars, but that's okay. I used black matte dots that I did have in my stash. So I wanted to show you how easy it is to recreate projects from the catalog. So this is a great resource on how to find inspiration for projects that you don't even have to sit and design yourself. All right, we're gonna actually start with our fancy fold here today. So if you are new, each week I provide this free project PDF. This is found on my blog, stampinblondie.com. And it has all of the details of the item name, item number, price, and at the bottom, the dimensions of the projects that we're creating today. Now, I did leave off the score lines for our fancy fold today, so you'll just have to watch this video and pair that with the free PDF. So stampinblondie.com, and you can get that, and it has all the details on the projects today. Now also, I started this new last week. All orders over $35 will receive the make and take pieces, so you can create today's projects along with me along this video and with our free PDF. So just check out on my website using host code, and I will automatically send you today's make and takes projects pieces. Now there won't be any stamping because I can't send the stamped images through the mail, but you can still create this little fun project and just substitute your sentiment, or you can add the Cutest Halloween bundle to your purchase when you check out and then create along with me. All right, Cutest Halloween stamp set and Halloween punch. Now, the Halloween punch is currently on non-orderable status, but you can still create these projects with just the stamp set. I am going to be using the punch because I know a couple of you out there have the punch, but when I do the punching, you can easily fussy cut out the images instead. But the Cutest Halloween bundle in the mini catalog is what we're going to be using today for our projects. Gosh, see, I can't get rid of this, like, I don't know what it is. Maybe, Carol, you're right. Maybe I need some steroids. I don't know, but whew, it just will not go away. All right, here we go. So we have a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 basic black cardstock. I'm gonna bring this over here so you guys can see it on that side. 8.5 by 5.5. I'm gonna bring in my scoreboard. If you don't have a scoreboard and you create lots of 3D projects, you need to get one of these. This is awesome for creating. It's got score lines at every 1/8 of an inch. So I use this, you can see I always score at 4 1/4 and 5.5 when I'm creating my cards. But this is actually the same size as a normal card. So same exact 5.5 by 8.5. We are gonna score this at 2 3 1/8. So there's a little 1/8 line right after the number 3. We're gonna score there. Now this is on the 8.5 inch side. We're gonna flip our paper completely over, and we're gonna score again at 2 and at 3 1/8. Very simple, very easy to do. Now this is the part that requires a little bit of thinking. So we need to score our paper. Let me lay this flat so I know which way my scores are gonna go. So this one here, we're gonna score up, or fold up, and then crease our line. Now this one here is gonna fold back, so we're gonna do that kind of Z shape here. So that's how we get that top part to pop out. Same thing on this side, we're going to fold up and then this is going to fold back. So kind of accordion style. And then I just used my bone folder and we have that double Z fold here. Now I'm gonna flip this over and I'm gonna run my bone folder along the edges just to kind of crease everything up on the back. And it'll just stand up on its own right like this. So very simple. Now you could do this one of two ways. You could have your card open like this and your sentiment would go on this side and this would be the front of your card. But I'm gonna do mine on, quote, the back of the cardstock so that it'll kind of sit up like this and you'll see both of the designer series papers on the project. All right, we have two pieces of designer series paper. This is the Cute Halloween 6x6 designer series paper. I love this paper because one side has colored patterns and the other side is black and white. So you can color that with Stampin' blends, your Stampin' blending marker brushes, whichever you want to do. But this, you need two pieces at 1 3/4 by 5 1/4, and then one piece at 2 by 5 1/4. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our Stampin' Seal adhesive and just get that going and catch it on the paper. And we're gonna put this one with the polka dots on either side of our Z fold, right there. And our next one, running down here on, oh, make sure you got it on the right side. It'll go right on this side. And it's kind of matted there, so that will show both of our designer series papers. Our 2 inch by 5 1/4, this is gonna go right down the middle of our fold here. And I kind of like to flatten it out a little bit just so I can easily put down my paper, but it'll just pop right back and then you can refold it and it'll stick right up and stand right up. Okay, next I've got our piece of Highland Heather cardstock. Now this is 3 1/4 by 3. So you just want to make sure that you've got your 3 1/4 on the long side and the 3 inch on the tall side. And we're gonna kind of zhuzh up this piece of basic white cardstock. So here is what it originally looked like, and we're going to use some blending brushes and a Highland Heather ink pad. So I've got my Highland Heather blending brush and my ink pad and our piece of grid paper. Now this is just the Stamparatus grid paper. I didn't feel like getting out my big pieces of grid paper, but this little guy will work too. Okay, Highland Heather ink. Now with blending brushes, you want to use them in a circular motion on your ink pad. I like to kind of go off on a spare piece of paper first and then just swirl it around the middle of my paper here. Now with blending brushes, they're buildable, so you can build your ink up and just swirl as much as you want to get it as dark as you want. I start off on my paper first on the grid paper because this helps get off any, like right when you push it down, it'll be a lot of ink all at once. So you don't want any spots on your cardstock. So we're just gonna put a little bit of purple in the middle here, and that's it for our Highland Heather. Okay, our black Stampin' Write markers. Now this is a really fun technique. I'm gonna move my projects out of the way because this can get a little messy. So this, like I mentioned, our Stampin' Write marker has the pen side and the brush side. Now Stampin' Up! Used to have a little bulb thing that you could put your markers in and it would spritz out the ink, but that's been discontinued. And I really, really like the splatter look, but we don't have that anymore. So how can you do the splatter without that tool? So what I do is I take the brush end of my marker and my cap. Now you don't want to do this super hard on your markers because it can hurt them a little bit, but you just kind of flick the ink in the cap, and the closer you get to your paper, the more intense the splatter is going to get. Now you want to make sure your workspace is covered because it does. Here you can see it kind of splatters all over the paper. So you just want to make sure that it's all in contained. And then that, look at that fun little splatter right on there. Super easy technique, and all you need is a Stampin' Write marker. Do not do this with your Stampin' Blends markers. It doesn't have the flexibility of the brush tip like the Stampin' Write markers, so I only suggest Stampin' Write markers for doing this technique. All right, we're going to now decorate our paper, and let me get out my card. I thought I had some of that designer series paper in my card, but not. I guess not. I'll have to go find some little pieces here. All right, we've got our, now this piece is Highland Heather, and I cut it with the Hippo and Friends dies. It's got this little stitching around the outside. Very cute, very simple. But we are gonna stamp this using our Tuxedo Black Memento ink and our sentiment that says, "Hey boo." So cute. I love that. Hey boo. This can be more than just a Halloween card with the hey boo. So we're gonna bring in our sample there. Our Tuxedo Black ink right in the middle. There's our sentiment. I love this. This little fun, this was the Halloween set that caught my eye in the catalog. I don't tend to normally get the Halloween stuff each year. I don't know. I love Halloween, but I don't make a ton of Halloween projects. So let's see, we've got this little guy here, and I used a lot of this purple paper in my project. So let's see if I've got one more little, so you can see, here's all of my paper for this little guy. I just need the one that has the, you know what we're gonna do instead, we're gonna do this little bat. So, because I don't have another little Halloween guy here. So these bats are super cute too. And we're gonna actually do one that, we're just gonna do this little guy here. Okay, so there, unfortunately the punch does not go with this little Dracula guy, so we will fussy cut him out. The punch does go with the ghost, but he's like a big comma. He's a comma, so very simple to fussy cut. With the punch being currently on back order, like I had mentioned earlier, you can easily create projects without the punch too. Yes, this designer series paper, okay, the whole thing, the designer series paper and the stamp set, I mean, it's in the name, Cutest Halloween. It is cute, and that's how I like to craft. So there's another Halloween set in the July through December mini catalog, but this year I went with this one. I tend to only get like one Halloween set each year. Okay, so we're fussy cutting out the little vampire guy. And our, like I said, look, he's just like a big apostrophe, comma shape. This does have the punch, you can punch him out, but when you line them all up, it's almost sometimes easier just to hand cut it out. So I use this in my October or my September class. So this was like the last piece. I have like this left of the purple paper. That's it. We're gonna glue these together, our pieces of Highland Heather and our basic white that we zhuzhed up. Now these two little guys, I am gonna use liquid glue on them. They're very small, so the tape runner doesn't fit very well on them, but liquid glue is perfect. So a little bit of liquid glue here. And then on the back of this, we're gonna add Stampin' dimensionals. So we've got 2 dimensionals, and that will go right in the lower left-hand corner of that. All right, we're gonna bring in our project here, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of liquid glue right in the center of our paper here. You don't want to add glue to the whole thing, or you'll glue it down and you won't be able to pop up the card. And this is going to go right in the middle of that. Now you can shimmy that over and give yourself some leverage to push that down so that stays. And then the last piece is to decorate with the matte black dots. Now these come in 2 sizes. It has a big here, so we're gonna put one in there, and then the smaller size will go there. And then same thing up here. I'm just gonna do it sideways since I put my little bat that way. So we will just adapt. So there is our first little pop-up card. And I love this little, especially even with the little bat, it coordinates with the flirty flamingo on the skull's cheek. So it does kind of tie all in together. So here is our first card featuring the Cutest Halloween stamp set and coordinating designer series paper. Let me know what you guys think about this. Oh, I forgot one part, the back. So I have a piece of basic white cardstock, and all I did is I took the outline of the ghost and the little face of the ghost. So we've got the outline and the face, and this is all in tuxedo black ink as well. So the outline and the face. And there we go. We've got the cute little ghost there for the back so that you guys can write your sentiment on there. And then you can use tape runner or liquid glue. For this, I find liquid glue is a little easier to kind of get in between those 2 lines. And there's the back. Quick and simple. You guys could see how quick and easy that is. But this is a really fun card design to do for Christmas cards because it fits in a normal sized envelope. You don't need any specific sized envelope here, and it's really fun. Like, display that on your mantle or wherever you display your Christmas cards, and this would be a really fun, like, interactive card for somebody to get in the mail. So let me know what you guys think about this project. I hope you guys like that one. I thought that one's really fun and very easy and kind of a fancy fold. All right, our second project, let's find it right here. Now this, like I mentioned, it's called Casing, Copy and Share Everything. This Stampin' Up! Puts these designs out there for us to be able to create with these supplies. So let's swap out our buckets here. I have a piece of smoky slate cardstock. This is cut to 8.5 by 5.5, just like our last piece, but this one is scored at 4 1/4. So it's just scored differently than our last one. Same size sheet of paper though. So you can see how you can create multiple projects from the same size sheet of paper. Okay, this designer series paper is actually a free designer series paper that you can get with Stampin' Rewards. This is found in the back of the annual catalog, and it is a huge package of designer series paper. One side, just like the cute Halloween, one side is black and white, the other side has colored. So I really like this designer series paper, especially the buffalo check. I love plaid. This is really fun, and you can color it just like our Cutest Halloween with Stampin' blends, markers, blending brushes. You can create whatever color you want. So this is a 4 what is it? I have it on paper. 4 by 5 1/4 for our designer series paper. And then a piece of basic white cardstock. This is 3 3/4 by 5. So we're gonna bring in that little piece of grid paper again, just because we're gonna be doing some stamping off. So you wanna have your workspace covered while you do this part. And we need like every little design in here. So I'm gonna be using the skulls, both skull faces, the outline of the ghost and the little ghost hands, the pumpkin and the pumpkin face, the cat and the cat face, and the sentiment, have a fabulous Halloween. So basically the entire stamp set is on this one card, which is great because you can see all the different pieces of the stamp. All right, we're gonna do the skulls first. So the outline of the skulls, we're gonna do Tuxedo Black Memento ink for all of this. So the first one is kind of gonna be up, tilted, going off to the right. The second one is gonna be tilted, going, is that going left? Yeah, going left, going right, whichever. They're going in opposite directions. And then before we go any further, we're gonna stamp our sentiment, because we wanna make sure that this third skull isn't too low or our sentiment won't fit. This is a long sentiment, so we need to make sure that it will have room. And so I'm just going to stamp it right in the middle first there. And then we'll come in with our skull again and do that third one. And then 2 more going opposite directions there. These kind of look like mushrooms a little bit. I'm sure there's somebody out there that has made like a mushroom card out of this thing. I mean, some people see designs in everything. All right. Our first skull is the one with the filled in eyes. So we're gonna do this guy here. And that lines up right into the middle of the skull. And all of these 3 go the same way. And that's why we have our little grid paper, because it will go off. Okay, our next skull face is kind of like a little scarecrow. He's got like a stitched mouth. So then there and there for our scarecrow mouth. Now we're gonna work on some scratch paper. So I have a piece of smoky slate scratch paper, a piece of pumpkin pie, and basic white. So we're gonna start with our ghost. So let me move these around. There we go. So our ghost here, if I get it inked right, just fits in a little piece of scratch paper. And then the ghost hands with the face. Now for this little guy, you see these 2 little cute cheeks. So on the stamp set, there's this itty bitty little dot here. Now this is the tiniest stamp ever. So when you use this, you want to be very cognizant of where it is. I mean, look how tiny that is. Very, very small, very easy to lose. So I've got my little stamp block here. And we're gonna use Flirty Flamingo ink for the cheeks. And we're just gonna do a little stamp off method. So we're gonna ink it up, stamp off on our spare piece of scratch paper. And on the cheeks, we're just gonna do 1 little pink cheek, stamp off, and another little pink cheek. So we stamped off because it gave us a lighter image or lighter ink than normal. So we didn't want it to be too pink. We just wanted the little cheeks to look like it's blushing a little bit. And so we've got that there. We're gonna put that off to the side. We're gonna come in with our pumpkin pie spare piece of cardstock, and we're gonna do the outline of the pumpkin here. And then the face of the pumpkin I swear you need every block that you have, unless you want to change them all out. Our face, and then our spare, we'll cut all these out in a minute. We've got our spare piece of smoky slate cardstock. We're gonna do the outside of the cat. There. The cat face, I'm running out of blocks. We'll make it though. Cat face. And then the cat has one additional stamp. So it's got, you can see here, these little ears. Now this is actually 2 in 1 stamp. So you don't have to worry about losing like one little triangle of ears. But this is I'm gonna move this a little closer just so I can see where I'm stamping to line it all up. So there is the little cat ears. Okay, the last part, our little scratch piece of Flirty Flamingo cardstock. So this matches the cheeks of the ghost. If you didn't want to do this pink, you could leave the cheeks off, but I thought the little pop of color looks really fun. So we're gonna come back in with that sentiment, ink it up, and then we're just going to cut out the word fabulous. And then we're gonna layer them so it's popped out from the rest of the card. All right, we can put our scratch piece of paper away. Take our scissors and just cut our sentiment out here. Now when you have a scratch piece of paper, you may need to trim the top or bottom down. So I'm just gonna trim the top a little bit there. And then when we add Stampin' Dimensionals, it'll cover that whole part up. So you won't even see underneath there. All right, our base, we're gonna come and bring back our card. This we're gonna use Stampin' Seal adhesive on. I'm running out of room here. I need a bigger desk and a bigger craft room. If my husband's watching, I need a bigger craft room. All right, we're gonna put that right in the middle of our plaid. And now we're just gonna layer everything. So I'm gonna come in with my sentiment. We're gonna add Stampin' Dimensionals. I'm gonna use the mini Stampin' Dimensionals because this is a smaller sentiment here. So there we go. Yes, Cindy, yes, I need a bigger craft room. Let's just get rid of our guest bathroom that's right next door to my craft room. I'll just rip it out, extend the room, you know, all that fun stuff. And we're gonna place that right there over our sentiment. So you can't even tell that that's under there. Very fun. Okay, I am gonna use the punch for this part because like I mentioned, some of you may have this punch. So I wanna show you how to use it. This is a 3-in-1 punch. You can punch all 3 images at once, but I'm only gonna do one at a time. So I'm gonna line up my ghost and punch that out. Now when you go to do this, you may have to shift and shimmy your paper around to get it, because like some of the images are upside down. The cat is upside down, but see, I punched it right side out. So we're gonna have to trim this down and kind of feed it in and get it all lined up in there. Now, if you have the tacky part of your take your pick tool, this will help line it all up, but I got it lined up without needing that. And then the pumpkin, I kind of stamped the pumpkin in the right direction, so that's good. I didn't have to do this too much for rotating my paper. Okay. And then if you want an orange ghost, you have an orange ghost. If you do all 3 at once, the best way to do it is to line up your stamps. Like take this and then punch all 3 out, and then you can line up your stamps on one, and you can stamp all at the same time. And then everything's lined up and you can just punch it because your stamps are already lined up like that on your block. So just a little tip, or you can do one at a time like I just did. Okay, we're gonna layer now our pumpkin. is gonna have a Stampin' dimensional on the back. Don't forget to use those edges of your dimensionals. Our cat is gonna have a dimensional on the back. Pumpkin goes down here. And I'm just kind of guesstimating where these go. So you're just layering them all together. You're gonna be covering up some of the skull, some of the sentiment. The ghost is kind of gonna tuck behind our sentiment there. And now we're just gonna embellish. So our black matte dots, I'm using all of the small size. And with my take your pick tool, you can easily pick them up and they're not flying halfway across your craft room. So we've got here and there, and then 2 more at the bottom, just like that. So I thought I did a pretty good job of copying the catalog. I mean, they look pretty similar minus the stars. I don't have the stars, but everything else looks great. So use the catalog. It's the perfect way to be able to recreate projects where you may need a little bit of inspiration. If it doesn't look exactly like the catalog, that's okay. I tried to get as close as I could to the catalog with what I had, and it worked out really, really well. All right, so I'm gonna bring in our 2 projects for today. So let me know which one is your favorite. My little sign's all crooked, sorry about that. Let me know which one is your favorite. I think the purple one is definitely my favorite. It's got that little pop up to it. And then this little bat looks really cute on there too. So let me know which one you guys like. I think the purple one is definitely the favorite here today. All right, well, thank you everybody for joining me for another week of Makers Monday. Sorry about that little coughing fit that I had at the beginning. Like I said, I've got a doctor's appointment in first week of November to hopefully figure that all out. I hope you all have an amazing week. Don't forget about our flash sale coming Wednesday, 15% off of all cling mount stamp sets from the annual catalog. And I'll be sending out details via my newsletter. So if you are not on my newsletter, make sure to click the link in the description of this video once it's done to be able to sign up. And everybody on my newsletter actually gets first dibs on registering for my events and bingo and all those other things that I do, card classes. So it's great to be on my newsletter more than just for sales as well. I hope you all have a great week, and I will see you for next week for Makers Monday, where I will create my second part of my Halloween crafting series. Next week we'll be doing little treat boxes and bags using the same stamp set. So I'm going to show you different ways on how to use that to create 3D packaging as well. I will see you next time, and I hope you have a great week. Bye!